Reality is, in order for Bitcoin to keep going, it is very important we get this close above the 6K region.
Blockhead CryptoCurrency News.
Cryptoslo with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Blockhead News. So let's get right into it. Bitcoin hanging on to that 6K area. Looking at 1334. It's a little indecisive here. Now keep in mind, I am on the max chart pullout. So that is where it's going to take the most amount of strength in order to show up. We had this basically one of the largest candles down in the history of Bitcoin. But the key indicator here is we need to hold this 6,000 level. Let's zoom in a little bit. You can see we had a little bounce off the bottom. This is the 1 year 1334, not looking the most, but as we zoom in closer to the smaller areas, we start to see we have a crossover on the 1 month. Now this would bend the larger areas out, but the reality is, in order for Bitcoin to keep going, it is very important we get this close above the 6K region. Looking at ETH, let's zoom in a little bit. ETH had the same crossover on the 1 month, pretty much tracking with Bitcoin. The reality of this is Bitcoin is dominant, and basically everything is going to follow it at the moment. But ETH isn't doing too bad in the 127s. I am out on my compound finance at the moment. I still feel the volatility ETH is too high to be in a leveraged position, and I don't recommend being in a leveraged position, not financial advice, but for now it's just a risky proposition. Now when you wake up tomorrow and check your blockfolio, that's when we're going to see if Bitcoin jumps. It's going to jump hard in the morning. You know, we could see an unprecedented spike, and with that, you know, you're probably going to bring your other coins with it, TRX, ETH, everything, Litecoin. TRX, you know, I really can't complain with all of this bad news with the sickness going around. TRX has been really holding its SAT value, and that's kind of what's important. You know, we've got like this 170 to 190 range, and you know, as soon as Bitcoin picks up, this will pump. Moving on to bankroll, 14,576 players, network assets 122 million. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. Banker has been doing very, very well. If we look at Tron Trade, we see the price was getting pushed up. I myself was stacking some Banker. Got a nice little spread here between Banker and you know, buy and sell. But overall, Banker has been going up, and you're like, well, why is Banker going up? Well, I can tell you why Banker is going up. It is related to the depot. So Rocket's been pumping the crap out of the depot. You can see I've got some divs in there. I went ahead, picked up 10K Banker. I got mine at about 7.5. I got in the last day or two, so not too bad. I'm already up on that. But as you can see, the depot pool is at 509,000, which is spectacular. The divs from this are very solid. So I am a level 4 in normal staking, but I'm going to probably hang out here in the depot and let my divs stack in the meantime, just because the ratio is so good right now. If you can get some Banker on the cheap, you know, the depot does not require any staking fees, so you could just put your Banker in there and mince TRX like a champ. Now, as far as using the depot, basically you just get some Banker and you go here and you freeze it, and there's really not much to say about that. You know, you just sit and roll. Now, there is a little caveat with the depot. If I roll it mines more Banker, and it moves my divs into credits. So then you got the haircut on credits, so keep that in mind. But the key here is you mine Banker if you roll. Now, if I do a straight withdrawal, it just withdraws to my my wallet. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet, because if I roll, it allows you to compound your Banker and basically, in essence, get TRX because of the, the credits is 1-to-1. So I'm still thinking about that. I'm kind of just managing. But yeah, so this is great. Payouts every few hours. Can't complain. My daily plus, I am not doing too bad on the daily plus. I cannot complain. So I'm going to go ahead and what am I going to do today with my daily plus? Now, there's a lot of people that are confused about the daily plus. There's a couple different ways that you can attack the daily plus. I could withdraw my divs and play Rocket to mine Banker and pump my day tokens, or I can just straight roll and get my day tokens. So what I've been doing is alternating back and forth. I probably will be battling for captainship on Rocket tonight. I tried last night, and on that note, the TRX network has been really slow. I don't know what's going on. It's slowing down the rolls on Bankroll. It has nothing to do with Bankroll. It's more about the network performance. So this round ends in 6 hours 52 minutes. So about 8 o'clock tonight. So I probably will be in the battle for captain tonight. Reserves at 44K. Captain gets 15%. And the carry master gets 15%. So yeah, not bad at all. Bitcoin block reward halving. So we have 51 days. 51 days. So nothing has fundamentally changed with Bitcoin. We're hoping we get that massive pump into the halving. Moving on to the stock to flow on Digitalic. You can see we broke down below the stock to flow. Now, this is kind of unprecedented in the sense that it has never done this, but keep in mind, this is the event of the century going on right now. This has not happened in 100 years. So I would expect some hits. So the dark blue line is our actual close price, but like I said, we have to close above that 6K in order for us to show strength. And you can see this massive pump that's possible. Bitcoin could just blast off, especially with the Fed printing money, infinite liquidity. It's disturbing to me. Like, everyone's like, I want a bailout, I want a bailout. Everybody wants a bailout. Where is all this money coming from? They're just simply printing infinite liquidity, and I don't know what this is going to do to the markets, but it's pretty unprecedented. Looking at the Fibonacci series on Digitalic, we can see that this has only happened twice or so in the history of Bitcoin. These are the Fibonacci levels that we were talking about. Each time the halving moons, we do that countdown backwards, the 21, 13, 8, 5, 3. We've talked about that the ideal max would be the 3x fib of 350 day moving average based on the close price. So this chart is unfolding. So what do I think about the stock to flow? We'd have to really just drop out of this for this, and I think it's going to pull the whole line down if that happens. But we're just going to have to wait and see. Like I said, that 6K close is what we're talking about. Moving on to general finance, the Dow continues its slide. I talked about this in my previous video. We had a unprecedented historic drop in about almost 10,000, well, actually 10,000 point loss. So $10 trillion pulled out of the market in about a week and a half. $10 trillion out of people's retirement accounts disappeared. It really makes you think that the money was never there. So as in my previous video, not financial advice, I advised I had moved my 401k into money markets and I was chilling there. I moved in at 29,000. Am I advising you to do that now? That's completely up to you. I am not a certified investment counselor. I'm just telling you what I am doing, but I do think the Dow has lower to go with all these bailouts and stuff. My target price was reversion back to a full retracement back to the 8K 10K region, but I probably will do increment buys into the market as we go down, just because nobody can predict the bottom. For all we know, this could be the bottom. I would say it's unlikely, but remember, it always does the opposite of what everyone thinks it's going to do. Everyone thinks it's going to continue to go down, so there's possibility it may go in the opposite direction. BitMEX may add KYC. That's bearish for Bitcoin. Actually, I completely disagree with this article, and I'll tell you why I disagree with this article. I hate leveraged trading platforms. As I've always advised my community, don't do this. It's gambling. It's gambling. You might as well just go to Wink or Utopia and roll on dice on under 4. I mean, basically, you can't predict these flash candles that'll just wipe you out. You'll lose 100% of your crypto. I actually think this is a fantastic thing. I don't want this will decrease the leverage trading, and we need to get away from that. It's just not good for the Bitcoin market. It really basically just strips value out of the market, causes volatility. So, you know, I'm not a fan of BitMEX, so whatever. Goodbye. So that's good news in my opinion. Bitcoin hitting 20K overnight won't be surprising. So, as we talked, we could see an unprecedented jump, gap up, you know, especially if Bitcoin decouples from the market. That's what I hope I'm doing. I feel like we've definitely found some bottom, but once again, we have to close above the 6K. I know I keep saying that, but it's super duper important that you know, we get that close. The U.S. should use stablecoins for emergency coronavirus payments. There's been a lot of talk about this. Now, this is a really important subject. Bruce Fenton, I don't know if you follow him, Overstock CEO, Raven guy, he was talking about that he thinks the U.S. will issue a digital dollar. He really didn't answer. I had put into the comment on Twitter, I had said, you know, why would they issue the dollar? Well, you have to remember, the whole thing about this coronavirus is that it's a global reset. This is the event of a global reset of monetary policy, because we possibly could never pay off all the debt that the government owes. So something like this could spawn, you know, new currency. Now, there's a lot of people that are making a lot of money in this whole situation. The Saudis have cut ties with Russia on the OPEC deal, and basically, if you're reading some of these articles, their goal, they can produce oil all the way down to like $8–10 a barrel and still survive. Whereas our shale production in the United States, it's about $20 to $23 a barrel. So their goal would be to squeeze everyone out of business and bankrupt them so that they will have a monopoly on the oil market. What does this mean for consumers? This means probably, you know, 80-cent gas, dollar gas. If not soon, it will be coming very soon. Yeah, so I don't know how they would do this and why they would do this, because they've always kind of said that, you know, crypto, blah, 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 but the issuance of a digital dollar. And some other reasons is, you know, you saw people lining up on the bank machines pulling out cash, but here's the thing, a lot of businesses aren't taking cash because they think that cash is dirty. So there's two sides of it. You know, could there be a bank run? You know, that would be where the Visa cards stop working. So then you need to have cash. But the flip side is that cash is dirty. It's been touched by a lot of people, and it could transmit sickness. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. Just more Dow news. Dow suffers worst week since 2008. Bitcoin finds support. So, like I said, everybody was expecting Bitcoin to decouple from the market, and we're just going to have to see if that's what happens. So, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, subscribe, like, smash that button. Also subscribe to my library channel as my backup in case there's censorship on YouTube. Check out my gear store, my Cryptoslo t-shirts and crypto winner accessories. With that being said, hope you have a safe day. Remember to wash your hands, and you know, just hold in there, stay home, do what you got to do, take care of your family, protect yourself, lock your cars, and we will survive and we will come out stronger when all of this madness ends. This is Cryptoslo. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.